of them. However, I have to make sure that the fit fits me. And in my journey, for the first time ever in my 5 years of living, honesty and real being honest about situation, I have to be, them is my attachments. I'm not going to attach myself to nobody that's dancing with the devil. I'm not going to dance 90% of the time they on the doing the leadership role, but that other 10% is infected. And we got to start being honest. I choose to be alive and I choose to be free and everybody around me. So when I see people, everything is healing circle. Is it really, are you really healing, or is this the, you need numbers and data to continue your programming, right? Because all of a sudden in 2022, everybody's healing, but these programs been going on for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, but the gun violence have risen. So I'm confused on what's really, what's really being done. What actions are we really taking? And when it comes to these leaders, I ain't about to play with them. They know I ain't about to play with them, period.
Right.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense. I was actually thinking about that a little while ago, like how these healing circles then all popped up, and a lot of them shit they monetize. Where I'd be like, man, this is interesting how this is coming about. But I definitely get your point, because I wonder about that shit too.
Well, this journey that this new journey that I'm on, it really started with self. And I said that I had to get my hands totally clean, totally, in order to help someone else. So help heal with a healthy hand, right? We can't heal and I'm still stealing, right? I can't heal. I can't tell somebody to stop boosting and I know I'm sliding shit in my purse. Okay, I can't tell somebody to stop selling something if I'm on the damn corner still selling something, or not even on the corner on my phone, right? So what I'm saying is we have to be models of what we are asking for our youth or our people after us to follow. Be an example and be a healthy one. See, our community, they play that 80-20 role. I ain't got time for it. And 100, I'm so tired of hearing, well, what is 100? Because I'm confused on what it is. I need a definition of what 100 is, because I'm not seeing 100. What is it? I need to know.
Right.
What is it, Dad? Give me some.
Well, they said the paternity test ain't even 100. It's like 99 point.
Hey.
Man.
So, I don't think nothing's 100. Nothing. And that might be a big part of the problem.
And
yeah, I mean, basically, what I'm hearing is that accountability across the board is pretty much like insufficient, or at least in question. And I would have to agree that is definitely an issue. It's definitely not how it needs to be. And we've all talked about this individually and amongst each other. When accountability comes into question, that's usually a bigger issue than not being accountable. It's more acceptable to not be accountable than to be questioned. You like to question accountability, and that don't really make no sense, right? If the people, for us who, us doing work in the community, right? If you can't question, not necessarily questioning me per se, but the work, like, does the work equate to what's being put into what you're supposed to be doing? And if the answer is no, I don't really see how I could get mad about that.
Right.
Well, to piggyback on that, this is just bittersweet, man. We asking for accountability, but I'm asking for all areas. Just like how me and you got on the phone, Def, in the first place. Where y'all's ass been? Where's have everybody been? Lorenzo and every one of them children that has lost their life before and after, but I can only speak on mine at this time.
Right.
Where is everybody been? Where's all the journalists? This ain't just no story. This is happening in our community. These are our people. Where's the bullhorns? Right? We asking for economy, what's it called? Economy and economy, for housing
Right.
and homelessness, and that is impacted us as well. But who's gonna live in the houses if everybody's dead? Who's supposed to live there? Let's start with the root, the core, and that's starting about real healing, identifying some of these traumas, childhood, if it's molestation, if it's being beat, if it's alcohol, drug abuse. Let's start being honest so we can give these kids a fair chance. I'm identified. See, it's funny how Seattle knows so much about Donnie. I'm talking about they on all platforms where I'm at, and I ain't never took care of. And I was at these same damn places as everybody else, the Dinos, the Thompsons, the Oscars, and the Rose Petals, and everything else. So how is my parenting any different from anybody else? Because I know I took care of mine. But guess what? They didn't know. I was at every doctor appointment, all the PTAs, volunteering, making cookies, know their favorite color. So they can, but they don't know nothing about that because I didn't post it on Facebook. No, Facebook ain't about parenting.
And we got to get off of that.
And Facebook ain't just about leadership. Where are you after Facebook in real life?
If you don't put it on Facebook, or
it didn't happen.
It didn't happen. Like even this, like if it wasn't for Facebook, who would know any of us talk? Like who would know I talk to you, Donita? Like I don't broadcast. Oh, I just got off the phone with Donita. What the fuck?
Let's get into your your history in Seattle so we could lead on up.
Okay, well, I am a Seattle native. However, I am born and raised Choctaw. I'm Choctaw Indian. And my family came here in, I guess, late 50s, 60s. However, I was born in a family where my grandma and the police never had a relationship. Okay, they were violating my family's God-given rights just because of who our last name was. Sinclair carries a name in the penitentiary is highlighted, but on the streets it's intimidated. Right. Okay, so I don't know, but all I know is if there was a curse or a repeated cycle, it's been broken with me, right? So at 15, I got pregnant, had a baby. I got a daughter that's 30 years old. I got my first grandson. 10 years later, I got pregnant with Lorenzo. Unhealthy relationship, not knowing because I was infected. Chasing the grind, the shine and the glitters and the gold, when didn't understand that where he came from, didn't do background checks because that wasn't important. His background, his role in the community, and in the streets he was somebody. So I wanted to be that, right? Hung on Cherry, I hung on Cherry on the corner so tough when my sister asked me was I hoeing. I didn't know I'm hustling. But let me stop hanging on that corner and go to the next one since you keep seeing me there. Because that means the police see that too, right? So, I went through hell and high water. My dad didn't claim me, but we have a relationship today, right? So, like I said, being born as a teen parent. So I had Lorenzo, and Lorenzo actually, my daughter changed my life, but Lorenzo made me kind of straighten up. Because he was a baby.
I want to give people some context. You said you had a child at the young age of 15, and what the neighborhood was then. You know what I'm saying? I don't think people, understand. Like Seattle, it was a rough neighborhood back then.
But we took care of each other.
Cherry and
yeah.
No,
but we took care of each other.
You're right.
It was rough, right? It was. I had, like I said, at her at 15, I dropped out of school. I was straddling the fence. What was important, go to school or making sure me and my baby eat, right? Because I come from my mother was an addict and I couldn't be in denial about it. But then now I'm understanding why I was fighting and dropping out of school because of pain, right? So it was hard being a public assistant. Um, but I ended up, but I didn't let it stop me, right? So no matter what, I dropped out, but I always got back in. It took me what, 5, 6 years at SVI to get that GED because I dropped out. I got back. But I told myself I'm not going to be 30 years old without my high school diploma or GED. So I started making commitment and changing, but started taking actions toward them. I said, having Lorenzo early. He was a preemie, 24 weeks, wasn't even 1 pound. I had this little thing, I was going to bring it in here, but I kind of got behind. 24 weeks that I can't be in no jail. I can't be at Dino. So I had to make some real life changes, decisions. And I still was struggling, in and out of school, went to Edmonds Community College. But the best thing that I did was start loving myself and went and got away from the hood and ended up moving to Linwood, where I gave my family, my kids, a fair chance. But that didn't stop because I lived there, but I kept continuing to come back to the Dinos and the Thompsons and the Oscars, right?
Right.
So I was still straddling the fence, not knowing. I thought I was a provider. I thought I was a good mom, but I didn't know I was infected. And so after having Lorenzo, and he wasn't born like the other kids, it kind of put things started a strain on me. Like he don't know what Similac and baby milk is. My baby had to go from Pediasure to oatmeal immediately. He had to eat at 2 months when everybody waited till almost a year to feed their baby because of his weight, right? And how he was born, huh?
Yeah, no, I had a child in the NICU for about a week, so I could imagine having a baby as small as Renzo. That's rough. People got to understand that. It takes a lot of time, a lot of hours, a lot of being up in that hospital. It's uncomfortable, and but you did that, so yeah.
In order for him to be here, it was love. Like I said, them doctors told me he wasn't gonna live.
Right.
But when he waited till he met me, they said his eyes wasn't going to be developed because he really came at 4 months. You supposed to go 8, 9 months. So his eyes wasn't going to be developed. He wasn't going to have this. He wasn't going to have that. And guess what? He was breached. He came feet first, and he had everything. And it took me 2 days because I had a C-section because of I started dying, and Lorenzo. He waited for his mom, but I always talked to him through my pregnancy. I had these earphones, and he liked the music. So he was doing stuff that he wasn't supposed to do. I had named him. And so, I talked to him and I let him know, they say that you aren't supposed to be here, but I know. And and I talked to him like he was a normal young man, like he was a grown man. If you are willing to stay, I will give you everything. I will change my life for you. And so I have a picture. I wish I would have. We're gonna have to get this again, do this again so I can show you.
Yeah. No, we're gonna have you back. Because
I would
it's a bigger
most definitely put my finger in this little incubator, and I said, "You squeeze your mom's hand, let me know you." And every day he get tighter and tighter, but it was love, and like I could say that his dad did show up, no matter what we went through. The doctor would say, "Father, Dad was here," so Lorenzo knew love. At that time, you know what I'm saying? When he knew, that's what keeps our kids going. Love, knowing we ain't giving up. So he came home around December, January, like 5 months after he was in the NICU. And I walked him around and I let him know, this is your home. I had it warm, showed him all the stuff. And I just let him know, I want you here. I want you to make it, because I went through albuterol, oxygen tanks, hernias, ear tubing. I went through the works with Lorenzo. I went through the works with him. So I ain't gonna say I was stripped, but to be stripped from him, it tore me and my family all the way apart, right? It wasn't just, I feel like I worked so hard for somebody, and for that to happen, it's not okay. So anyway, so after going through all of that, Lorenzo overcame. He was in an IEP. People don't know borderline autism, Yeah, he was autism, but I didn't claim it. I didn't accept it. I treated him like a normal kid. You
Okay.
know, I wasn't gonna let his disability prohibit him from being like the other kids. But I always told him, you're not the same as them. You came earlier. You know, the Lord might only give you one chance, so you need to fly right. So Lorenzo, as growing up, he wanted to be accepted, and being in special eds and different classes like that affect African Americans. People don't understand it. It affects our children. Nobody wants to be called retard, or nobody wants to be in a place where you're not in the same general population as everybody else, because now you're becoming different, separate. So he overcame all those, right? And so there was a time when Lorenzo was growing up at 15, 16, where he started becoming himself. He wasn't himself no more because he wanted to be accepted. So then he got back on track, right? He started continuing. He always went to school, played football, but I really wasn't a fan of it because his eyes, he was born with glasses and nobody knows. He never wears them because it felt like it was like people used to laugh at what they call them bifocals and stuff like that. But to me, if you need them, wear them. If you need
Right.
IEP, go. I never was a teaser. I always liked the different people because the normal people was weird. Why are you sitting there teasing, people that looks different from us? I was always interested, like, what the hell is wrong with you? But I never teased them. I always worked in as a TA in special eds and different classes, working with people because I wanted to learn, like, what's up. So, and I taught him that you're okay. Just because you're in a different class, you're not different than nobody. So up to June of 20, he graduated in 2019. That was just so, we were all my family was there. We were screaming. We was from interagency because Lorenzo had started off at South Lake. Then he went to Renton, and he must have got a little bit. He was just a little bit behind, so he ended up going to interagency to walk. And then, mind you, let me just tell you this: a couple of friends, Royale, rest in peace, was a role model. So Lorenzo, like I said, he has stopped being himself lately, wanting to be accepted, and he hooked up with friends, right? So this is Lil Royale, and Royale made a tremendous role model for Lorenzo. Whatever he went through, he still was graduating. And so Lorenzo tapped in. I'm like, Lorenzo, these are the kind of friends you want to be with. That's going to school. That's not people that's hanging out all day at 12.
Right.
Anybody that's out after midnight and that's a teen, they up to no good. I ain't about
Right.
to sugarcoat it. Your ass is doing something you ain't got no business. And we need to, you know what I'm saying? So I always questioned all his friends. He's like, Mom, what are you doing? What's up? What's your mama doing? What's your daddy? Who are they? Let me know them. Let me talk to them. They always
Background
think
check.
that I'm on some old BS, but I'm trying to figure out what friends, because friends don't take friends to danger. So I need to know who you around. And if after 12 o'clock, if everybody ain't trying to, wind down and get home, I know there's some disrespect or some, something's going on in the household. Now, I don't know if it's the parent or the kid, but it's something's clashing there. So,
Hey, let me ask you something. You said your son felt the need to be accepted. How detrimental do you feel that's been, especially to young Black men, the need to be accepted? Like just something that simple, right? Where the need to be accepted, you'll take any risk. How much of
I
a
think it's a
problem?
stigma. I think it's not a citywide, it's a nationwide, it's a worldwide.
Right.
So I think that the TV, when they go on there and whoop and do all that and show the money, I think that that's what the kids want. That's what we want, especially when it comes from African American kids. We ain't brought up with silver spoon. We watched it, but we ain't come from it. Not all of us, right? And so we got to understand this is the hand we've been dealt. But when you watch TV and you see other people, your mind, I want to be that. I don't want to be broke. I don't want to be in poverty. I don't want to be ever to be someone tell me no, I can't get the new Jordans, the new shoes. So I think that wanting to be accepted, I was one. I thought I was a leader, but shit, I wanted to be accepted. And I mean, sometimes it was, it had a benefit, but when the outcome, when I'm really looking back at it, it hurted me because I was proving to people that didn't even care about me. I was proving to people that I wanted to be this Donita Sinclair person, and I was full of pain.
Yeah,
So I just
yeah.
think that we
I be touching on that. I be touching on that because it's like, I look at, it ain't about race, but you just look at the average Chinese guy growing up to be accepted. He doesn't have to go through half the stuff that we got to go through. You know, for somebody not to look at me like a lame or to look at me or just respect me, just being in the hood, being able to go wherever you want, like that comes with a price, in the black community. But the average, like the Asian guy, he could have glasses, he feel accepted by his friends and stuff, so now that's it's just rough. We gotta lighten up on our own community. It shouldn't be so hard to be a part of our community.
yeah.
Yeah, the most important thing with us shouldn't be who's the most ignorant, who's the most violent, who's the most predatory, right? Like where we'll take a genius and turn him into a criminal mastermind because we don't respect that he learned how to make this thing fly off of water, right? Which is an amazing idea, but Will loved the idea he could create 3D guns or he could create some sort of weapons out of pop cans. Like when all we had to do was let this dude be great and he would have got everybody paid.
You
Right.
justify the wrong bull.
Yeah, justify the wrong shit.
We do. We do as a community. And I'm gonna just spec on Seattle. Seattle is clout chasers or title chasers, or there's many people that I grew up with in Seattle. I ain't never been a bully, but the first thing they'll say is, "Oh, Donita was fighting." Well, damn, don't forget to say you was picking on me. You called me every big nose and all of okay, but now, like I told her with Michael Jackson's money, only thing I'm getting fixed is the teeth. Okay, boo. So it don't change. But back then, I didn't like it. I didn't like my nose.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I wasn't
Right.
comfortable and I wanted to be accepted by what the other people thought of me, other than what I thought of myself. Like I said, I didn't grow up and be honest about who I was until 2020 when my son died.
Right. Let's fast forward. Let's fast forward to there. Let's fast forward to there. I know it's a tough time. I can't even imagine it. Some people say, oh, they feel you, I can't even imagine, your shoes and the pain that you and your family, had to go through, my condolence, everything. But let's fast forward to there. Def Chef knows a little bit more than me about the chop situation, and just let's try to wrap our hands around. I mean, we probably can't wrap our hands around it, but just some of the chaos and some of the who should have been accountable for some of the things and the actions that was taking place.
For number one, when I got the call, it shouldn't have been from. But mind you, what was funny is I worked downtown on 3rd and Pike. I worked at Plymouth. I ain't never called in, but I did not feel well that day. I did not, the Lord just broke me. I just did not feel well. And when I got that call, I'm like, what? Then they didn't say shot. They talking about dead. Hold the girl, bye. Okay, let me get on over here to just goddamn Seattle because I wasn't even about to. That never would have crossed my mind. I'm like, how and where? How? Because number one, he ain't going nowhere with nobody he don't know and trust. He ain't just going, but the new friends, or I'm your cousin and faking and shit, knew already that they was gonna have chaos and bullshit down there. Because when I'm looking back at it, I watched the documentary that Omari had shared with the Hogness, that's the chief of the Seattle Fire Department, and some CHOP employees up in there, whatever the CHOP was about. Okay. Now, number one, I never been a fan of CHOP, but I would see that they wanted to, but they call themselves highlighting Black Lives Matter. So I wanted to hear and see what the great outcome was, because number one, us being African American of color, we shouldn't have to hold a sign and tell nobody our life matter. We are here. We exist. So the Black Lives Matter is okay. Thank you. I thought it was going to be some greatness too. Then, but what turned me, I never had met Durkin. I've been hearing stuff, but I try not to get in the middle of the politician and politics because I was uneducated at the time, but I know now. So, it could have been a block party, summer of love. Well, what's funny? If you know already that number one, your Seattle Police Department is under a crisis. So number one, this block party, protest, Black Lives, that should have been counseled until further notice, because number one, we are having a major fucking issue inside of SPD. They ruins and the Proud Boys was coming. That shit was already, whoever okayed that and agreed to that fake shit, they all need to be no job, no pension, because you play with a lot of people's lives. So why do you get to still take care of you and your family and you jeopardize everybody else? That's not okay. So that's reason one why they should have never had CHOP. Then two, you okayed it. You ain't got lighting, you ain't got barricades, you ain't got porta potties. So that means you are participating in the event. That's okay, no problem. However, the thing is this: that means if you participate, that means you are taking responsibility as well as everybody else of what happened in that place. Hopefully nothing. Everything would have been great. However, it didn't turn out that way. But they knew that way in the beginning of June. They knew people getting raped, different stuff happening down there.
They already had multiple shootings at that
They had already had stuff going on because it was all over the news.
Thefts, like you said, rapes, absolutely.
So, Def Chef, you had a personal encounter with down there. My people went down there. They took a couple pictures. Some people were treating it like like a historical landmark type of deal. People taking a picture, and it probably wasn't staying too long, probably, but it was a lot of that going on. I personally didn't get a chance, but you having your foot down there for at least 5 minutes, what did you see?
It all depended on the day.
Okay.
Because I went like day in and day out because of a situation that had happened with Omari. I started off working security. Right then, I became like a beat reporter because, like Donita said, my nigga, I realized this shit is fake. And I realized kind of early on. The way I found out, it don't even matter. That's some little personal shit that I had going, because I'm a food justice activist then. But what I will say, I've never seen those type of resources get poured into a situation that was supposed to go against the norm. Like, they gave them every amenity you could imagine. That the park was already a homeless encampment. They had a full-blown garden with a full-blown part government. They damn near had a president. You see what I'm saying? Like they had a garden curator. Now think about this: when you setting stuff up, because CHOP was like an overnight thing, allegedly, right? That all started when they descended on Little Saigon and broke into the bank, and then they did all that shit. Then they was, yeah, we're going to the precinct, and then off of that, first it was
But who
called
went to the
change.
precinct? Them wasn't colored folks.
That's what I'm saying.
Them was white folks.
That's my whole point. Like we just said, he was recording it. If it wasn't for the whole narrative would have been different from the beginning.
Right.
Well, let me just tell you this. From what I'm understanding, why wasn't I hearing why we were there in the first place? Why I didn't hear leaders and our community advocacies out there talking about how we supposed to love and protect each other? How come it was okay to the violence, the drugs, the homeless, the rapes, and the chaos that was happening? You know, when I'm seeing them video it like it wasn't funny. I seen people being assaulted. And why didn't it get stopped then? Why did it have to continue all the way up to where my son's life and other children's life were actually stripped? See, this ain't they got socked and beat up. They're gone, and they're gone forever. And then they had another little young man that got shot that they silenced. What the hell is Seattle doing?
Yeah, a lot happened. A lot happened. I'm glad we're, you're here representing your part and unpacking this, because this is something that they pretty much do want to sweep up under the rug. And if they could get rid of the story of your child, they got it all sold up. A bunch of people got paid off, so they're not gonna say nothing.
And that's what needs to be discussed. Who got paid off? And hey, because it's not paid off to be silent, because guess what? That could have been anybody's child. It could be your child, their child. It could have been anybody's child. And guess what? Your child, the love of your baby was just going to be stripped for somebody's, 1 year payoff or what? I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying.
Capitol Hill occupied project,
But then they got a dead person already on the, I don't know. It just shows violent, right? It just shows
they created a environment of bedlam and lawlessness, right? And there was a bunch going on, and nobody was down there for the same thing. There definitely was people who were brought in to be provocateurs. I don't know if there was crisis actors, but when I'm seeing people say, I'm from DC.
Yeah, he borged out. You in there?
Yeah, I'm here. Well, like I said, I've seen people from all over the world coming here and there, and they were bringing their same behaviors here, because Seattle is not like that. That is not what Seattle was about. Seattle have changed in a major way. We used to go to Broadway to go to, Arnold's and all kind of different stuff. We knew it was queer and LGBTQ, but that's their business, right? If that's what people decide to do, that's what they do. But when we having our chief of police know what's going on, and instead of making a immediate stop, she stepped down. It's not okay. It's not okay. Then we got Mr. Taylor. He pretending he's an activist. Where is he at now? Step down.
We got a clip of him. We're gonna run it. We're gonna run the clip of him.
Then the Trump called here. People don't like Trump, but I have to respect the man that called here to protect my child. And guess what? They denied it. So if you deny it, that means that you have this all under control, and what happened should have not happened. I'm not okay with what Seattle's doing, and I'm not okay with them trying to vanish or erase my son's life. This is his history. This is his family's history. This is his nephew's history, his potential kids that he cannot have history. This is my history to understand that I have set a foundation for a future that now has been stripped. So please, I ain't trying to hear that. Then they sit around here bullhorning. You got Inslee, fake ass, sat on there and said he didn't know nothing about y'all, but he's the governor. But then he knows about Mr. Devon Pickett. Baby, you know about it all. And you guys have still allowed this to happen. And then to me, it seems like the chaos is continuing to happen because the Seattle police done set the foundation that they don't really care. So now people feel like they can commit crime and get away with it.
Yeah. Now the lawlessness is definitely, it's at an all-time high. In my opinion, you know, I was downtown the other day. I was talking on another stream, and you know, I mean, it looks.
I'm not cutting you off. I just
bad.
want to look at this. Look at this picture up there. Who made that green sign? That has to be from the city. A Capitol Hill autonomous zone. You can't just go put that up there. You see that?
Yeah, it looked like a city sign for sure.
Man, you better get the hell out of here.
Yeah, it's definitely, the images, it spells chaos all over. You know, people were going down there getting it. I mean, you might not ever see this again. This was complete chaos. I was kind of surprised that
you'll see this again.
They would let it go on for this long. You know?
Oh, that's how you know you're gonna see it again. Only way you know it's gonna make a stop is somebody like now putting a stop to it. Put a law in effect. Put a Horace Lorenzo Anderson.
Was this worse than the WTO?
To me, yeah.
This was worse, huh?
Yeah. 30 days of nothing. WTO wasn't this long. That was 30 days, baby.
You're right.
This is the record. This never happened here. This can go on Guinness Book of World Record.
That Hannity joint. I'm gonna play a little bit of it just to go in. Let me see.
Father of the young man we mentioned earlier, Horace Lorenzo Anderson. He was murdered in Seattle's CHOP zone, autonomous zone, or summer of free love zone on June the 20th. Horace Lorenzo Anderson Sr. is with us, along with a family rep who is the executive director of Not This Time. Andre Taylor is with us. Sir, I speak for everyone I know watching this program tonight. We are so sorry for the loss of your son. And I don't know how I'm a father who has a son that's 21 and a daughter that's 18, right around the age of your son. And this happened, 10 days ago, and the city still didn't do anything to protect its citizenry. Your thoughts, sir?
I think they should have just been, man, it's incredible. You know, my son's 19, you know, I mean, they should have did something about this a long time ago. And I don't, you know, like I said, I understand Black Lives Matter and everything was going on and everything, but that's not my movement right now. My movement is let them know that was my son.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Horace Lorenzo Anderson was my son. That I don't know. I'm not with all this, whatever's going on.
Politics or
none of that. I don't know nothing about that. I don't even know nothing about that. All I know is this is my son, and I love him, and I've been having him, man. It's been my son, and it's just incredible. And I don't know, that should have been done a long time ago.
He has a concern about
yes, sir.
The fact that he was never, no one ever came and spoke to him.
Nobody ever. I never talked to, only way I found out, I see my son the night before he passed away. He was on the couch. I seen him.
Was that the same type of response you got? Pretty much nothing.
Nothing.
Okay.
And then after I Found out he was murdered because disrespectful as Harvard View playing games. I reached out to SPD and requested that Carmen Best, the chief, while she was still active, to give me a call. Still never heard nothing. Still never heard nothing. And 2 months before Durkin resigned or was out of office, she had a first sit down. 90 days was the first time I've ever talked to anyone from SPD about my son. I had talked to an officer prior, after, saying that they know who did it, and so the detective that they had me at first, he ended up retiring, and that was just kind of funny to me. Like I said, why would they give you his file if they know that they're retiring? So that immediately right there was a sign of a concern that if you're retiring, I'm okay with that. You gave it a great run. Congratulations on your new journey. However, I don't want to play, now somebody got it announced, it's moved over here, now you got to wait. I want somebody to get rapidly around what's going on and what happened to my son. I got zero answers. I didn't see my son until the day after he had been embalming fluid. So a whole week and something went by of me not knowing if is it even really my son?
Wow.
Why I can't identify him? Why I can't look to see? So it was just a lot of things that I have been violated about. There's a lot of things that has been just far as disrespect. And City of Seattle and SPD owes Lorenzo, if they don't owe them nothing else, they owe him a public apology for dehumanizing my baby. Like it was okay. And I'm
you know what?
let me piggyback on one little other thing. Is I understand Lorenzo's paying him and Andre Taylor, but by them not inviting me is only thing that I had a problem with. I'm not disappointed that he was there representing our son, because it is his son. However, when it comes to a child, we are family, even if we're together or not. We are family. And what matters is us getting both of us getting the right answers and accountability for our son.
Right. Right.
There was a situation where your son had like a mural on like an electric box, or whatever them boxes are all throughout the city. You know what I'm talking about? Where they put the faces.
Yeah, I made it. I got it done.
So that's up.
It got put back up, yeah, but it was removed for over 5 or 6 months, almost a year.
What was the steps of you getting it put back?
Well, I went, I had questions, concerns. Why was it taken down?
Why was it taken down?
And they never gave me that. But like I told them, the community I see a lot of people around this community that's highlighting their loved ones that lost their life as a pillar of the community. And I most definitely know Lorenzo was one. He opened up a lot of doors. So he deserved that opportunity to be highlighted and uplifted. And I did that on my own. No fundies, no cities. I did it. And then it just up and was gone. No email, no explanation why it was gone. And then when I put the concern on where's my son's mural and why did you guys dehumanize him? Why did you guys re-shame him? Why did you try to erase what happened? Why his life got to be erased and nobody else's have been took down? So I felt like another violation of the city playing games. So it got put back up. That's the only thing I can say. They put it
go ahead.
Ago.
Go ahead, because I was gonna switch it all the way. So keep going.
Okay, switch up. Go ahead. You got it.
Well, and I was gonna ask about this Andre Taylor guy. I don't want to say it like that, like I've never heard of this guy before, but just for the viewers, if you guys got anything you want to put on, because he's, what's his position in this?
I don't know him. So he don't got no position with Horace Lorenzo, not my son. So he don't got no position. To me, it seemed like it was an opportunity for benefits for him and Lorenzo. Hopefully not, but like I said, when it comes to advocacy around this gun violence, I was thankful that he supported Lorenzo in the time of that need. However, I was not included. I had a voice. It hurt me too. I have never abandoned my children. I've always been in their life, and like I said, division is a part of what our society have been prone to. And like I said, we were supposed to stand together to make sure Lorenzo got his accountability to everybody, but Mr. Taylor and Lorenzo, like I said, I don't know the man. All I know is he went from street czar to now making a record that he's a pimp. So I just kind of leave that all alone. And I'm not a fan, but I don't want to, point no fingers at him. All I know is he didn't come talk to me like a respectful father that he said he was. So.
When the interview happened, because I seen it when it happened. Did you like see it when everyone else seen it? Did you see it later? Did you know about it? How'd you find out?
No, I found out that day, and
Okay.
so I found out that day, but it just wasn't okay for me. I was like, no, don't ask me to. I wasn't prepared, and who reached out to Hannity? I just wanted some questions first before because Renz did reach out and ask me that day at about 3:00, and he said they was coming at 5. So I did say there's no way I could do that. I live all the way in Seattle. I need to get all the way to Tacoma as somebody that wasn't just gonna work. So I would have thought if we were going to publicize and put it out on what hold the city accountable, that we all would have had, the times would have fit us all, so we all can share our concerns. It just felt like once he went there by himself, it looked like he was a single father and Lorenzo didn't have me, and that's not the case. So I just wanted to make sure that I've always been active from day one. There's no sided, nothing. I'm his mother, he is his father, and we are joined. That's just how that goes.
I've always wondered why there wasn't something with y'all on, a more local, like maybe check, Channel 13, or I know, it might be a different, a network like Como, or I wonder. I've always wondered that.
Well, I don't know. I think that the city just people just take what they think they know and they run with that. This isn't what needs to be addressed is how Lorenzo got killed, why he got killed, why no one came in to help him. Why did this turn into like a mockery instead of it being what it really was supposed to be, for. I just have so many concerns about our city and the lack of concern about it. Why nobody is talking about it? How come even when we voting a new police chief, we voting a new city attorneys and all mayors and all these, and they have not addressed what happened in the CHOP. CHOP is only a little bit of gun violence. It has a part of it. CHOP has its own thing that happened, and it happened for over a 40-day period, and we need to address that. What really happened? What happened to the relationship between the law and the community, and and the leadership, the city officials? Where's Sawama Suwan? Where's Nikita Oliver? Where's everybody at that was making decisions back then in CHOP? Why is everybody on mute today? Is all I want to know. Where's everybody at?
You know what? Those are very good questions, because it does seem like the people who are at the forefront of it, as far as like what the media says. Like I don't really know who was who all like that. All I know is what was said in the papers and with the information. But yeah, it does make you wonder, like, where are we at? Like you
They
asked,
were
where.
fucking scared. They knew what was going on too. Once it got out of hand and they lost control, they knew. You know, when we lying, talking about the Proud Boys is coming, right? And that started off inside of our precinct. You know, they wrote a report, Inspector General, how the Seattle police failed our city. This isn't me. I'm just a concerned mother. This was other people in higher roles and seeing exactly the same thing I seen.
So the
So
Proud
I
Boys
don't.
was coming for conflict or what?
Well, I can't say. I think that they said that to.
They they came, but it wasn't, man. Yeah.
Yeah, they
Like
came for conflict. If they knew that wasn't nobody gonna be there, why else was they there? If that's the case, then why? What happened? How would happen if we wasn't coming? If they didn't come for games? But it started off inside of that fucking SPD office. They should have never put that kind of report out that they knew that was false. They should have never, we just had National Guards here. Why did we take them away? And then you lied and said that after 28 minutes of his life being at, at a bad place where he needed first medical attention, why didn't no? I'm just trying to figure out why wasn't it not one fucking hero? Why no medical fire department? Nobody just said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna just go in there. It's only at the corner."
yeah, to me, when you're in that position, I know that's I don't
I'm
care
going
what
to do it.
protocol is. Like, nah, you gotta get the fuck out my way. I gotta get to this individual.
I'm going to
Like,
save. I'm going to save my people. I'm going to save
yeah,
this life.
I gotta do it. This is my job.
They sat there on the corner when a young man recorded them, letting them know wasn't no chaos around them, wasn't no whole bunch of no people stopping them from going in. Did we get the no to not go in? The no, that means that you didn't want to go in from get-go. What do you mean? You supposed to have said, do we got the clear? Do we got the yes to go in? Do we got the no? Then this was all premeditated then. How did you know not to go in? How did you know it was so dangerous? How the fuck did my son get caught up in it? Because after he got jumped by 5 or 6 people that I seen motherfuckers video and recording, how come that wasn't enough? How come our community leaders and everybody, I was down there. Why the fuck you didn't stop it?
That's a good question.
Yeah, no,
That's a good question. Because I will say that was the one night I wasn't down there, because before, me and my son that went the day before, I took him down there, and like, it was crazy. Niggas shooting rap videos. They got DJs down there. Like, they had some little marches going on, but even a lot of them marches, them shits was orchestrated. Them shits was controlled. I mean, when you start, and I guess that's the reason to get people not talking, because the more you talk, the more questions there's going to be. That's just the nature of it.
I mean, it's not about questions. There's answers there's concerns. The thing
Right.
is this: if we don't do something about it, it's going to happen again. It's going to be chopped too. Anonymous zone part 2. And a 3 and a 4. And this time it ain't going to be my kid. It's going to be one of y'all, somebody else's.
Right.
So when do we put a fucking stop to it? But see, what concerns me is when I see people that ask me to, can you come speak? Where the fuck you been? Okay, this isn't a game. There's a lot of mothers that's sitting in this type of personal club that don't want to be here. They ain't able to get up and pick themselves up. They're in a very fucking dark place. Right. And talking about their child and reliving this torture is not okay.
Right.
We need to do something more about it than having mothers on fucking podcasts expressing how they feel. Stop the bullshit. If you know your son and your niece and your nephews and them is out bullshitting, either get them some help or your ass start being held accountable too.
We got to be more proactive.
Nah, definitely. You know, especially, you know, the accountability to yourself, but, you know, your kids, I think you should be held more accountable for the shit that your kids are doing. You know what I'm saying? So I agree. I definitely agree. There's dudes my age, you know, they got sons out here full-time gangbangers, you know, full-time, you know, so
and they know it.
And that, to me, that would be, I would be considered a failure if that happened, you know, that's like the measuring stick for me. It's like, okay, I'm gonna keep my sons up out of the streets. You know, they're not gonna be gang members, you know. I mean, it's gonna be a whole lot of other things that, you know, I got instilled and I'm trying to put into them, but that would be like I totally dropped the ball. So, you know, the accountability, you know, it goes all the way across the board. You know, these are some of our peers that we grew up with, and now they sons done grew up with, you know, no matter if they had home training or not. You know, we see it from many, many different backgrounds. You know, I see good people. I see people grow up in bad situations. You know, they some of the best people in the world. I see some people grow up in good situations. They the worst people in the world. So, you know, it's all the way across the board. But the accountability and just the way we look at each other, like we're not oppositions. We're brothers and sisters.
Right.
You know, so once we see that, I think a little bit of the history about our people, how special we are, because I mean, all we see is negativity. You know, even growing up in school, 3rd grade, 2nd grade, you know, 4th grade, 5th grade, you know, when they used to show those little civil rights videos in class and stuff, you know, I was in a predominantly white class sometimes. And, you know, when it was time for recess, you know, I still had that thought in my mind. And, you know, it really didn't seem too lucky to be black. You know what I'm saying? It didn't, you know, and we had to unlock that because a lot of that is probably still going on. I don't consider myself programmed, you know, to where just anything is just going to change the way I think, you know, like when you're young, you know, but I'm sure that's a lot going on in these guys' head when they're running around destroying each other. You know, they just kings at the end of the day. It's kings killing kings. Like there's no game that's like that. You know,
but how easy is it? Why? Because in households,
because it's cool. It's cool.
Well, they think it's cool because one thing about a healthy household.
Well, we don't hold nobody. Like let's, for instance, I see guys time and time again from my city. They might go to jail for, let's just say, murder of another black man. You know what I'm saying? And when they get out, they're held on a pedestal. You know, it's free him and, you know, all of this. And he, you know, he back out. He done did 15 years, 10, you know, he a real nigga. So let's just face it. You know, that's what it is. He's not the guy that everybody, oh, look at that guy. I don't want to be around him. He does damage to his community. You know, we don't look at people like that. Just like a Chimo or something. You know, they go and, you know, people stay away from them. You know, they got to register. They got to do all of this stuff that humiliates them. You know, so there's like an incentive for you not to do certain type of behavior. But killing another black man, if I go rob a black dude or I run off, I'm 25 years old, I go punch 3 black dudes and knock them all out. That summer, I'm the baddest guy in the hood. You see what I'm saying? So we just got to look at what we champion, what we glorify.
Right.
And if it's destroying our community, that's the first thing that we got to, like, nah, I'm not
going to kill my brother. That. I'm not going to kill my sister. I'm not going to hurt her. I'm not going to make, you know, that. Yeah.
That's but over with.
It starts at home. Right. A lot of these kids are our kids, so it was babies having babies. And all we hear is families don't even stick together no more. And so if you know a family don't stick together, that the chaos start. Oh, I don't fuck with them. I don't fuck them. Fuck them. I ain't. I mean, all that does is embed in our children. So will we think that they ain't watching? They are. So if all I'm doing is selling, stealing, and prostitution, do you think the apple's gonna fall too far from the tree? No, we've been hearing that all our lives. So we just got to start being honest and making sure your household inside is healthy. I'm not about to degrade what you or Jermaine or Susan and Bob is doing. What I'm going to do is get inside with my home. I'm going to make it healthy. Do the best I can to make sure my household is healthy. What comes out my mouth is healthy.
Inside out.
Right. And so, hey, healthy is a appetite, right? I don't eat nothing unless it's right. Healthy. Well, not, I'm talking about talking. Now, food, I'm lying on that. I eat all that shit, bacon and everything. But I'm talking about conversation is an appetite as well, and it needs to be healthy, And so what we put in is what we put out. When I ask kids, young adults, that's what I'm telling you guys to understand and get this prescription of the live and free. Understand that there is an ingredients, there is tools, there's steps that we can take where we can keep our community alive and we can keep them free. But we have to take those steps. Friends ain't about to take a friend to no danger. If you know that the initiation, the gun, the girl, the guy is gonna be there, I ain't going. Start listening to your background music. Understanding death row that will never fit. Good and bad don't go together. It's either you're gonna do good to go to the good place, or you're gonna go do bad. And you know where that goes. You can't sugarcoat this shit. You can't justify what your kids is doing and then expecting them to lead with a healthy hand. So I'm just saying it's either we're gonna be real and raw and right, or we're gonna continue to lie and talk about podcasts and death to the lower come. I'm just keeping 100. It's time to really make real change, significant changes. Stop talking about people. Stop everybody worried about. I don't really care about the Andres and them. All I'm telling them, don't use my son's name and face for a benefit. Use your pimping, use your song, and use your wife or whatever you gotta do. Value that, respect that. Other than that, do you. You know what I'm saying? And that goes for all the other organizations. When I'm hearing everybody out here, oh, the gun violence and we doing this and we healing, but I only see you once. That's a concern to me. Stop doing that shit unless you're gonna get called out on it because you're not healing, you're lying. You're gatekeeping. I don't want to hear when I see civil rights, supposed to be civil rights leader, turn around, you worried about the black hat and the black man movement, but you're fake. You've been watching kids die and you ain't did shit, but you got your big household over there, the big house, and you got furniture and y'all's dressing nice and wife with the Louis purse and all. That don't make you solid. That makes you fraudulent as a motherfucker, and it's time. I'm through with them. When I'm seeing people not once, where NAACP, they denied me. Why would you deny me after the fucking Seattle Police Department left their goddamn precinct? And all of our rights was violated. You should have never denied me. But then you're going to go pick up Josh, everybody talks about, motherfucking case, and he's a serial killer. Hate to say it. I ain't giving no fuck. I ain't glorifying what nobody's running around here doing. If you've been hurting the community, you deserve what you get. That's how that go.
Right.
So
right.
Lights might
well,
be
it starts with us though. We build the community, and we're the gatekeepers. So just like in other spots down south, different spots, they don't really do like the Crip and the blood thing, because that's not their culture and they just really ain't with that. That's not. I mean, I'm not saying they don't have they conflict, but they're just not with that. So, it starts with each individual, the household. You brought it all the way back to the household, but each individual city, each individual state, and then, regions, it goes like that. Like I can't fix what's going on in your house until and my sons are still out there running around, drinking and driving and stuff. You know what I'm saying? I can't do that. I gotta. Right. And a lot of these dudes, they done get females too, because we done gave 10, 20, 25, 30 years into this game, this thing that we call the game. And some of us, you know, you already punched the clock, man. You know, it's time to hang up your cleats and give all that, whatever's left, you know, you got to pour that into your family, man. You know,
Mhm.
there's
In
far
a
too many
healthy way,
dudes.
though.
Yeah, definitely. Well, yeah, in a healthy way, for sure. But you know, because I see far too many dudes with more than just a couple kids lose their life out here, you know, and they've been in the streets for 25 years and it didn't look like they was trying to slow down one bit. It's like, you know, what are you trying to do? Go for the 50-year anniversary, you know, that you've been in the streets every single day, you know. So yeah,
So you
it's
got
some
to be taught,
reflection.
though. You got to be taught. You know, I learned that we can't expect somebody to do something if we never personally told them or taught them. I
Yeah,
can't don't just assume that I know the way because I'm from the hood or the streets.
yeah, I could
Sometimes
say that though, but I hear you though, and I'm gonna give you a little pushback. Okay, so if you walk through the doorway, if you it was a whole line of us, and we all walked through the doorway one by one, and one by one, somebody got their head chopped off. You know, how many people is gonna walk through that door before we realize, you know, some things is natural instinct.
yeah,
Like the hood has, as good as it is, good as you feel, you know, that little what is it? Dopamine, you know, just, you know, that good feeling, you know, being accepted and things, you know, kicking it with your friends. And we really ain't doing nothing positive. It ain't like we're just eating celery on a treadmill, right? When you go to the hood and meet your friends. That's not what we're doing. We're not walking around Green Lake and stuff, you know, like, oh, I'm about to go meet 4 of my friends in the hood. Like, what are you guys gonna do? That's what I'm saying. So it's really big that, you know, I mean, just the whole hood concept is a failed lie, in my opinion. All of this,
mine
keep
too.
it real, all of this, the good in the hood, you know, all the slogans that we can make up, you know, it all was a lie. You know,
It was
don't
bad
tell on
information.
him, don't do this. It was all built off manipulation. You know, it's how can you manipulate the younger generation in order to, if you're
For your
smart,
benefit.
fatten your pockets.
Right.
Exactly.
For
And
your
then
benefit.
right, and just
We
they're
thought that
just
was cute back in the
expendable.
day. Because we was the guinea pig, the runner. Somebody
Right.
gave us the sack. We thought they was really, that's my big homie. But guess what? He was making sure that he was safe and your
Right.
ass was jeopardized.
Exactly. And the cycle just keeps going on and on. So, you know, I can't say too many other than just days that, you know, maybe it wasn't a conflict. There really isn't too much positivity that comes out of just that whole lifestyle. So it kind of, you know, we got to just get back to the family and, you know, just like everybody needs to just go to their own little corner and just heal and hit the reset button almost, you know. I know it's impossible, but you know, it's just a thought.
Yeah.
Let me
Well,
let me speed up these guys real fast.
And he was like he was about to go to sleep. I seen him. I laughed at him. We tickled a little bit. He stayed with me all day, you know, because he stays with me anyway. That's my guy. And we laughed, and I said, "I'm going to sleep." I went to sleep, and only way I found out was just 2 of his friends, just 2 friends that just happened to be up there, and they came and told me they weren't even from Seattle. Now, mind you, I haven't heard the police department, they never came. My son's address, his ID, him personally, you know, him as a person, he still had somebody should have came, knocked on my door, and still to this day should have been like, coming to talk to me and let me know about my son. To this day, I don't know nothing. I'm just still sitting here. I haven't heard nothing from nobody. Ain't nobody contact me.
You haven't
If it
heard from
wasn't
the
for my
mayor.
friend,
You haven't heard from the mayor. You haven't heard from the governor. You didn't hear from
I
anybody.
haven't heard from the mayor. I haven't heard from the police department. I just now recently, just because we went on TV, they reach out to me and let me know what they're doing now. But my son's been, you know, he's been deceased now for what, two weeks, somewhere in there. I don't even remember. I'm just so, my days is like every day is like every day. It's the same day. So it's like I'm confused and I'm you know, but I understand that, you know, whatever's going on. But even at the time, even when my son passed away, when I went to the hospital, there was no detectives there. There was nobody there, no media there. There was nothing. He was nobody. He was just like, we was just there, and we just sat there. And I said, man, why are we sitting here? There's nobody else here. It's like they didn't care. It didn't matter. I haven't heard from the mayor. I haven't heard from the police department. I haven't from no city and nobody. Only thing I heard from is what you guys is hearing from me now. That's it.
You know, I saw this picture. Then I looked for the video. This is a picture of you I'm holding up. It was in the Daily Wire. And what I see in this picture, if we can pan in close, if we can't, I understand. What I saw in this picture was a fellow father with a son around the same age as my son and about the same age as my daughter. And then I read the article and I read what you said. And you actually said, you're not sleeping. You could see my eyes have been crying. I'm trying not to cry on TV. And then you went on and you explained how you could not understand how they allowed this lawlessness to go on. Now you're taking it to an entirely new level. Nobody had the decency to call you. And I assume you heard the mayor out there calling this the summer of love and the media reporting it as a festive zone and one big block party.
Yeah, to this day, right now, they still haven't called me right now. I've been on TV. They still haven't called me. Nobody hasn't called me, and they haven't reached out to be like, my condolence. Nothing. I don't understand. I never understood. All I know is now they're acting now. This is today. This is 3 weeks later. If I would have never even came on TV, that would still be going on right now.
Let me just say, Hannity, I don't want to make this no kind of political statement or political situation.
You can say anything you want, sir. Sir, you can say anything you want on my show.
Yes.
You can criticize me. I don't care.
Well,
I want this to stop.
I don't need to criticize you. You were very gracious. You was very gracious in offering your condolences. If nobody else you offered yours, and that's not a political statement.
Yes.
You compared his situation to your own with your daughters, and that's big.
Hey, Taylor's a smooth talking dude.
Well, I mean, but the thing is, he's not young. He is from these streets, so
yeah.
Was able to identify, because at that time it was being on the humanity side, not trying to dehumanize nobody. And so to me, that was cool, right? And it was, I was thankful, but like I said, number one, when I asked them, how did they even get on this show? Who did the reaching out? And why was I, you know what I'm saying? Why would I, if I was invited, why would it be an hour before the live broadcast? So that means that this was already prearranged, at least 24 hours, right, 2 days or whatever it is. So that's me and Mr. Taylor are not gonna never probably see eye to eye, because number one, he should have made it very, very self-explanatory that, Lorenzo, yes, you and the mother have not been together in a relationship for 18 years, 19 years. However, when it comes to a child, we are a family. Family is, it don't matter. We don't got to live in the same household to sing the same song. I support Lorenzo when he's with me. I support him even when he's over there with him. So it doesn't matter. But when I seen these guys just on here, nobody reached out and he lived with me, that's false information, and it tries to dehumanize me as a mother. So that's the only reason I'm not okay with it. But other than that, I don't mind my son, however he's being highlighted, because this is, long as it gets there. I'm not picking and choosing, I want me to be the one seen. No, get it out there so we can be held accountable. That's all I care about.
Mm-hmm.
That means something, and I appreciate you for that. But what I don't want to do is get into who's this and who's the fault and who that, because we don't really know. Chop, I believe, should have been dismantled at least a week before.
Yes.
When the first violence happened, we should have looked at it a little differently. And that wasn't done because I understand navigating in a time in our country that for the George Floyd situation, people were a little bit hesitant on how to act and not to be the one to feel like they're trying to put down young.
So is he the Sarzar at this time or not?
I'm not sure. I think he was probably, I don't think so, but I'm not sure. Because I know right after this, he had ended up getting his contract, the Street Czar. So
Street Czar,
it could have been,
yeah.
because sometimes contract take, it could be already a 60, 90-day process and you don't get it till after the 90 days. So I don't know. All I know is I don't think he was a Street Czar until after, because he was still doing Not This Time. He would have been Street Czar. So this is still not, no, he wasn't Street Czar. He got that title and opportunity after, because he pretended that he had the ties and the relationship with the Seattle. Now, when it comes to people that want to consider themselves as women user pimps and all of that, then they flaunt to that, and holes and people that's been in that lifestyle. But nothing was okay with them getting that benefit, right? Him talking, getting his money, I'm not mad at it. But what did he do? What did he do to reduce the gun violence? What did he do to advocate for Horace Lorenzo? I've never seen him no more even speak on him.
Right.
So that's a concern to me. It makes me feel like you use my baby for your Hannity, because you probably wouldn't have been with no Hannity if it wasn't for that. They didn't want to see American Pimp and all of that. They wanted, what I'm saying? It was a crisis that Seattle had been impacted with. And so that way you got an opportunity. But, like I said, the valid points is that nobody called and nobody reached out. So long as that was addressed, I'm okay with it. But I didn't like just that they had, didn't invite me and then didn't act well. The invite was kind of weird. It was an hour before, but that they didn't include me. So other than that, I can't really speak on Mr. Taylor. Like I never have when people bring him up, because I don't know the man, but I know that he had my son's name. Not I had his son's name. He had my son's name in mouths or probably documents, who knows? But I know he has not picked up the goddamn phone and ever said, "How am I doing?"
Yeah, man, that's important, because people use words and and if that didn't happen, then we shouldn't hear it come out of his mouth then.
People's voices. And so I understand that as well. I just want to let you know personally, beyond all the politics, that I appreciate how you reached out to Horace and you said how you understood his condition. I think that's real big of you, and I appreciate that too.
Yes. I appreciate it too, because that's probably the only thing I've ever heard from anybody I haven't heard that from anybody else. And I
that's heartbreaking.
We're on TV, and I've never been on TV, so I don't know how to be on TV. But my son was a child of special needs. He was born at 25 weeks, So, they compare him. They trying to want to put him this, do that, but he was a child. He had developmental delays. You know what I'm saying? So he's easily to manipulate. You can tell him, "So come on, he'll come on." He's one of those type of child. So
that are very influenced by others.
Yeah, easily influenced. You know what I'm saying? Easily. He was sitting on my couch. I went to bed. I seen my son. When I left that night, I'd seen him. I came home. I seen him. I went to, and I seen him, and I just said, "I love you, man. I'm going to sleep." And that everything else just seems like
a blur.
Yeah, I don't even, I'm numb. I'm still numb today. I got to bury my son tomorrow, and it's just been a lot going on. And my whole thing is, my whole life is, man, this is incredible. And I'm like, I still this day, it's been almost 2 weeks. I haven't heard from nobody. Has nobody called? They still ain't nobody called me or try to find me. And his ID is my ID. So his number is my number. So they can, it's easy to come for the detective say, hey, excuse me, knock on my door, excuse me, let me tell you what happened about your son, I don't know nothing. I had to find my son. They wouldn't even let me see my son that night. It took me a whole week before I can see my son.
And then let me just say
Mr.
that
Anderson,
he's in
hang
trauma
on.
right now.
Mr. Anderson,
yes.
You weren't allowed to see your son for a week? Please,
they wouldn't let me. I went to the hospital, and they said that we couldn't see him. They just said we couldn't see him. There was now, when I go there, I'm going there.
Hannity can't believe it. Hannity can't believe it because he know, probably somebody. And I ain't even gonna pull the race card, but it seems like black people continuously just get
short end.
Yeah, the short end. So he can't believe that this could even, like, this is inhumane. That there was no phone calls, no, correspondence, no, no nothing. And just to see this Caucasian guy just like basically flip his handle, because he couldn't believe that something like this could even happen. It makes it even more sad.
Right. Well, the sad thing is that, let me say something. The sad thing is that that we didn't get to see him. Harborview started playing a lot of games. Oh, he's at the morgue, or he's there giving me on top of the bad news I already got. And then within an hour, somebody called asking, oh, would you like to donate his? Bitch, I need to look in his eyes. Why you want to donate? Why you need dead eyes? Hell no. Leave his eyes where they at and let me see them. So it was just continuance. Like, do you guys know we just got a call that our baby is being shot or hurt or dead or whatever? So you think at that moment we thinking about donating eyes? Do you think we need to see him? We need to see him. And for, like I said, a whole week, it took Joaquin at Black Dot to have some connection with one of them, the morgue people and the people down there at the whatever that's the corner, to get that baby released. It was a mess. It was a mess. And then when I turn around and do reading, I see that Harborview and UW is doing a study on gun violence in our community, our urban areas. Well, studies be looking like experiments. So are you making sure this shit happen? And then what, I don't know. I'm just telling you that I know that another mother went up there and she wasn't able to identify her baby. We have to have built some type of different relationship. Number one, we don't want any more mothers going up there. That's why I'm telling them people, I got my own business working with mothers that's been impacted by gun violence. I don't want to accept no more. Why? Because that means more kids is dead.
Right.
This is not no fucking game. And people don't understand it. This is not a game. We will die with a broken heart. It don't matter whether a husband, nothing, even our other children. Nothing's going to compare to how we feeling about our babies is gone. So we got to get to another, it got to get to another, and these platforms and all, it got to get to something else better than this, I'm going to highlight your son because like Devon, we highlighting a beautiful pillar of the community. So, but why is he fucking gone? Because y'all didn't address that this young man that's supposed to have a note or repeated calls, that he been calling, their family been calling the SPD, they said.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what's going on, what I'm hearing on Facebook. So why did they get tackled? Why didn't that war get combated before this young man lost his life? We can't do that. So somebody knows. And until I start seeing from the South Seattle to the central area, bring their ass to sit down at the same table. It ain't about who getting along with who. Our mission should be the same motherfucking thing, and that's preventing gun violence. So,
and we got to be sure to take certain provisions, right? We can't uh we got to do simple shit like check niggas pockets, have metal detectors, make it as safe as possible, because it doesn't make sense to bring people to the table if we can't protect them from themselves.
right.
So yeah, all that has to come into play. But the main thing is like you started off with. It starts with ownership and just basic accountability.
Where they
And
at?
then from there we can move to the other shit.
I'm not being funny. When Lorenzo got murdered, no, he ain't George Floyd, but he my George Floyd. He's my Horace Lorenzo. So he don't got to be George Floyd to get highlighted, because he's mine. But I see that our city worried about George Floyd and every other city but their own. I see they supported, they highlighted them. I don't see them none. But I know about 20 motherfucking organizations got some excuse my French, got some benefits, got some money. Because she started pouring. She was so guilty, she giving away. But not one of them highlighted. Not one of them highlighted Horace Lorenzo. And just because of you, you guys got a second chance. A lot of these second chance organizations. See, I'm good with the games being played. Where's everybody? Where's this Boys and Girls Club, Safe Passage, Community Pack? Where's everybody? Why we all ain't sitting at the same motherfucking table? Jimerson's, where's everybody at? That's my concern. They don't gotta like me, but you understand what happened to me could happen to anybody. So that ain't about me. It's about the situation. So prevention. When we talk about prevention and intervention, them is two different things. And then they can't even do the intervention work because you can't do prevention work. Okay? Let's start with us. Stop. Don't go around getting your 6 figures and your big $100,000 whatever salary, but you're infected. You're infected as hell. You're a liar. Okay? You're sitting around here praying on these children. Black, brown, Mexican, girl, boy, it don't matter. You're praying on them. Okay? Because when I notice Black people, when they come to our meeting, we late. But let it be the white people. They make sure they on time. Stop this. I'm cool with all of that. I should have been on had to sit down with everybody that's from an organization that's saying that they're reducing gun violence. We should have had to sit down and some type of strategy to come together so that we can combat this war, because there is a cure for the disease of gun violence, but it's going to take us. Every one of us have a piece of the puzzle. One organization don't have all the puzzle pieces to the puzzle. It takes us all. But when I see motherfuckers sitting around playing games, don't come at me after you done fell out. But when you got the money, y'all was cool and y'all silent and ain't saying nothing. If you silent, you is 190% of the killer is the actual person that pulled the trigger. Stop playing games with people. Excuse my French. Stop playing. So Seattle, until they start being honest, don't ask me to come to no healing circles because you ain't healing. I don't need to get reinfected. And friends ain't taking no friends to no danger. So don't ask me to come to a place where you know the hood is still at. Don't ask me to come to the Safeway to talk, and you know right in front of the Safeway they still shooting. Bye. Don't ask me to come to that shit. I'm not. What happened to my son can't happen to me and my nephew. 30 days later, my nephew go to another murder somebody got murdered at AMPM, and my nephew lost his life. So 2 people growing up lost their life, best friends, to nothing. He was going to Rainier Beach. He was going to be a professional football player. He's going to be just like any and everybody else. But did he get highlighted? Is anybody asking how's his mother and his siblings? I'm cool with this community. I'm cool with it. Then they picking and choosing when the Caucasians and them, you know what I'm saying? I ain't got time to play them games. I ain't about to play them. I'm not about to play with none of them. From the Bruce Harold,
we gotta put even energy into these situations. Like all of it needs to be unacceptable. All of it needs to be worth our attention and our ostracism. Like, if the program is keeping our children alive, and to keep our just bloodlines and just our people going. We have to start having an attitude of we're not accepting this. And if if you do it, we're not fucking with you. Like that, this isn't okay.
Can I ask y'all a question?
Mm-hmm.
Would you say to a certain degree that, I'm talking about my people, the black people. Would you say to some degree that we're programmed?
To some degree.
Yeah, I can say that. Program.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're programmed. I
To a
mean, I
large
don't really know
degree?
what you
Would you
mean
say
by
in a
to some
large
degree.
degree?
Oh
I can say in a
to
large degree we're
Large degree.
programmed.
Okay.
But what
So,
program is it?
Not the good one. Not the
man,
Not the
one we
good
listen,
need
one.
to be
I'm gonna
on.
tell you, a kid is programmed all the way from the little cartoons that he watch
Mm-hmm.
from the beginning. I know it probably sounds just way out there, but why isn't there a cartoon that of a black kid that does harm to his black community and he gets looked at as bad, like a bad guy?
They didn't even
Like
bother put
like
nothing like that out.
no, it ain't about them. It's about us.
Yeah.
We got motherfuckers as artists, and we need to, even if it's on YouTube, you know, there should be a cartoon, some type of, it don't have to be long. It could be 10 minutes long of a story. You do bad things to black people and all the black people turn their back on your ass. That should be the first thing that kids should see instead of this bullshit, because it's all, you both of y'all agreed that we programmed to a certain degree. So how are we programmed? It ain't, you don't just bite the apple and just want to kill one another.
Oh
You know what I'm
no,
saying?
like you just said, we're programmed.
Right.
Very it starts off very young, and even if they don't show us certain images, we see the reality, and the reality shapes the messages. We see how our moms and dads are treated.
Well, it's
We
the
see how
music
they have
too.
a lack
It
of
goes to the
huh?
music also.
Right.
Oh, bro, I haven't even got to that part yet.
Yeah.
I was gonna segue into all that, the vibrations, the music,
Nobody's
the
bragging about helping another black dude. You know,
Mm-mm.
no, you know what? And the thing is that if you do, we'll shame you for it, right?
but I could go screw his girl, and
Oh,
And
and now
highlight
I'm
it
a
and be
see,
highlighted.
and
I'm a fuck this,
they
I'm gonna
comparing
kill
me to
this nigga.
Nas.
I'm gonna
You
fuck
Right.
know,
your bitch.
I'm
I'm gonna kill this
Nas now.
nigga. I'm gonna fuck
I,
your bitch. We just talked about
you,
this
you see what I'm
exactly.
saying?
Let me tell
So
you guys something. I learned that in this new journey, when have you ever people if they need to pay attention to the music that they listening
Yep.
to. So
Yep.
let me just I ain't being funny, but look at this. I'm gonna just a couple of them. We don't hear them from them. Not that they weren't good people, but we just don't hear from them. Killer Tay, Death Row. What's the other one? Is what's the other ones on here?
Oh, there's a bunch.
But
There's a
any
bunch of them.
name that come with evil in it, like how the fuck is Death Row supposed to be successful? But that's Death Row. Killer Tay. I'm not saying that they are bad people. I'm just saying understanding your attachments.
well, they're selling the most effective drug known to mankind, and that's anything that destroys the black community, and you're packaging it up and selling it. You know,
Hey,
that's
I learned a lot. Just like that man said, he said, I love Carly B. But Carly B and Nicki Minaj can't come in here. I said, I understand now. Not that I don't like them, but I stopped listening to it. Not that I have nothing against her, but when a woman say she don't cook and she don't clean, well, you are giving us women, younger that's growing up behind us, of that's supposed to be an example of a woman, but I got a ring. Well, that's why you're getting cheated on too. And that's why he ain't, you know what I'm saying? Hey, we cook, we clean, we take care of everything. That's, you know what I'm saying? That's how our definition. That's what women do. And not that we have to, we want to. Some women want to be great. Some women want to be a good wife, a good mother, right? Ain't nothing wrong with being a decent person, but we got it as, oh, he using. No, not really. You know what I'm saying? I give because I want to, not because nobody's using me. Ain't nobody working me. I do it because I want to see you smile, right? So I just been learning how to, I can overcome anything. I have a husband that have been in the game, and when I say I seen a person change, prime example at home, I see it, right? So I ain't just talking about what I'm expecting. I'm doing it. I'm doing what it takes to be a better mother, a better sister, a better aunt. You know what I'm saying? I'm a better community pillar. But like I said, I'm no longer just Lorenzo's mother. Now I'm a leader. I'm coming in these meetings as a leader now, because the mother, I ain't getting, your shoes. No, it ain't about don't be in my shoes, because you can't even probably walk in them, a mile in them. So what I'm saying is, as a leader, how does leaders come together, or some of these people are not fit for these leadership roles? So now it's time to be held accountable, or get yourself out that position, because you are causing harm to our community. Period.
Yeah, that's a fact. That is a fact.
And they don't like me. I'm the black sheep because they don't want the truth.
Something. But when I get there, there's nobody. I mean, the hospital is blank. It's silence. I'm going like, what's going on? So I go ask the lady, and she tells me, hold on. So I wait. I couldn't go in, so I'm waiting for a long time. And she tells me to come in, and then the doctor tells me only thing he tells me is my son's deceased. I'm like, well, can I see him? Is it my son? Because you got to realize, at this time I'm going like, is it really my son? I want to know, is it my son? Mm-hmm. Because this could be somebody else's child, But I'm in my head, I'm going like, yeah, it's mine, because everybody's saying this, but in my heart, I'm going like, I need to see him I need to see him one time, just to make, so I can see him. I couldn't see him that day. That was Saturday. It took all the way till Thursday. I just seen him just last week, just Thursday, and they had to, whatever they did to him and make him so they presentable, whatever it was. But I need to, I got to finally see him, and then my, in my heart, I knew it was my son now. This is my son, because, I wouldn't want nobody else's son. And this is incredible. These kids, and the kids that passed, what happened the other day, all this on this child. Man, this is incredible. These are kids, man. I'm 50 years old. Man, these are kids, man. They should have been stopped this a long time ago. It's starting to get, excuse me, but it's getting to a point, where, it's getting.
I'm so sorry.
Just really.
I'm so sorry, Mr. Anderson. I can only say this as a dad. You want to break Sean Hannity? I'm a pretty tough guy. That will break me. What you've been through.
Somebody that asked for this, and they need to come talk to me, and somebody need to come tell me something, because I still don't know nothing. And somebody need to come to my house and knock on my door and tell me something. That, I don't know nothing. All I know is my son he got killed up there, and he's just a 19-year-old. No, that's Horace Lorenzo Anderson. That's my son, and I loved him, and that was my son.
Got your family. Don't worry about
everybody. I can tell you, sir, and Andre, I didn't want to cut you off earlier, but on this show we've done something. We have every weekend hundreds of kids shot, people shot in Chicago, killed every weekend. We get a death toll. Nobody knows their names. These are American kids, grandmothers, grandfathers, moms, and dads. We're the United States of America. We can fix this. We don't fix this. And you do it by right policing, training police, non-lethal weapons. You do it with a police presence, not demonizing. Everyone agreed what happened to George Floyd can't ever happen again. It was not a political issue. Right. How do we function as a society if we don't protect our children?
And I feel for his family too, no disrespect.
course
But
you
when
do.
it comes to my son, I feel like
It's personal.
just like you saying that, somebody should have helped my son. He needed help. He needed paramedics. He needed the police to come in. Somebody, man, somebody was supposed to go in there and help my son. You know,
Can I
shouldn't
tell
have
you
been
something, sir?
just anybody helping him. They should have came in there and helped my son. And even after that, still, I need to, man, let me know. I shouldn't know from some little kids. I should have somebody. I'm 50 years old. Somebody should have knocked on my door and said, "Man, we need to sit down and talk to you and let you know what's going on." Because I still don't know what's going on. I'm hearing from YouTube and I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing. All I know is my son's dead, and I don't know nothing, and I'm still trying to figure out answers so I can sleep. I don't sleep. You know, my kids don't sleep. I can't even stay at home. My kids don't even, they feel like they're unsafe at home now. So I've been buying motel rooms, and I don't have that type of money for this. I'm not, I wasn't prepared for this. You know what I'm saying? So I just, I'm blessed that my son, he's my auntie, she blessed me, and his mom, we all came together and we got, to bury him. But other than that, I don't have answers. You know what I'm saying? This is my son. Somebody need to come talk to me, man. They're not talking to me, man. And I understand that Black Lives Matter, but that's not what was going on here. I didn't see that. That ain't what I see.
Life matter?
Yeah. He's somebody. Yeah, he's somebody, and I'm his dad, and I need answers, and I demand it. I refuse not to, man. I will not lay down. I'm hurt, but I'm trying. I'm just trying. Whatever. I'm trying to pull myself together, and I apologize for crying. Because I just I don't know how to. I'm trying to pull myself together. I'm not really. This TV is not my thing, but
sir, you have nothing to talk.
Somebody need to come. Somebody need to answer this. Somebody tell me something.
Yes, sir. Andre.
Yes.
Mr. Taylor, you wanted to say?
No, I was asking, did you say something? You said you wanted to play something or something?
Well, first of all, all of the violence in all of these cities. I've been scrolling names of the people don't hear of in Chicago, 4,000 from 2009 to 2016, 4,000, almost 4,000 dead, thousands and thousands more shot. They just like our statistics. I scroll the names sometimes, like I'm doing it right now. And then I watched this video, Mr. Anderson, of the night that your son was shot. I can't believe they didn't tell you. I can't believe nobody's called you. I'm
never
stunned by that.
I can't watch it.
And you have a funeral tomorrow? Yes. For your son?
Yes.
I mean,
tomorrow, the funeral's tomorrow.
If I could do anything for you and your family, I will do whatever you need. I will donate any amount of money you need for all of this. This is just outrageous to me.
My thing is,
I will be gladly glad to do it.
I appreciate all donations. You know what I'm saying? But my thing, it isn't about the money.
I know. You lost your son.
No,
I got it.
When I wake up in the morning, I look for my son in the morning. He's not there no more. You know what I'm saying? It's like I go in there, I'm kissing a picture, so he's not there. I understand. It ain't even about the money. It's just like, man, somebody, man, something needs to happen. If it's changed, then let's change something. Then let's figure out the change. Then
yes.
Let's do it now.
Let me play the tape.
Let's don't wait till tomorrow or the next day.
Yes.
This is the night that your son was shot. The police had to beg. The paramedics had to beg. Now, somebody's shot, somebody has a heart attack or stroke, seconds matter to save lives. They had to actually beg to get into the summer of love zone that the mayor out there calls it, to offer and provide assistance. I want your reaction to this.
Yeah, get this off of here. You guys there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you could comment.
Yep, I'm here.
I know it was rough seeing it over again. Let me see.
I mean, I thank Kennedy just for putting his privilege to the side and being a human being. But, like I said, this ain't about no damn money because I get up and go to work every day. So Lorenzo's going to be okay, period. However, where did that go? I didn't see it. But, it ain't about the money and I don't
Okay.
care
So,
about it. So we don't even got
That's
to
what I
talk
was
about it
always
because,
wondering. I was
but
always wondering
because
what the
you get
follow-up
it.
was going to be.
Yeah, I mean, it's only one person that I could even ask this question. And that's you. So I'm just curious.
I didn't see it. So I didn't get none. So we can kind of just move forward from it because there ain't even nothing even DS, we can't even debrief on it because I didn't see it and it was for him, like he said, so or the family, and they did what they needed to do with it, I guess. So, like I said, I get my strength and my support and my financials from the Lord up above, so I don't really worry about stuff like that. I think that we can get kind of caught up into the money part and not really stay focused on the actual accountability part because that's all I care about. That's all I ever cared about. And that's all that matters to me right now because no amount of money is going to bring back the empty space. No amount of money is going to
Well,
bring back.
that's why we're here, right? That's why you're here because we want some. Well, you primarily want some accountability. Money's been passed around. Checks have been handed out. So we all, well, I can't say all of us. I know that that's what you're not here for, but I know you. So for any of the listeners, whatever, I know what she's about. This is more so to get y'all up to speed. But what I'm saying to you, that's what you're here for, right? Accountability, like because the money's already been dealt with, but there hasn't been no accountability, correct?
Yeah, money's been dealt, but there's been no accountability, no
Mm.
highlight. He didn't had a 2-year anniversary. They didn't even, and that's what I want to say here. Now, Mr. Harrell was not the mayor back then, but he was city council. So he understood, he probably knew, understand what's going on in the CHOP. I'm pretty sure because they all know.
Right.
However, after accepting or inheriting, no matter of fact, campaigning for that position that position knew was in a crisis. They knew that whoever got in that mayor position, there was going to be some answers and some accountability, and people were going to talk about the CHOP, or did they think that it was going to be erased? However, when his second year anniversary came, it was silent. It was so silent that it was so heartbreaking to where I didn't hear from one person. That was it was just I couldn't even just think. I was just so numb and angry. I was full of anger and rage and pain and just like, gosh, no. How not one person, and you talking about all these checks that been put, why none of them even said thank you, justice for Lorenzo. They don't even got to say we got a check for Lorenzo. We just saying justice because hypothetically a young African American 19-year-old man got murdered. Justice for him, for his family, justice for the people that was hurt in the CHOP. Why we heard nothing? 2-year anniversary, but we sit here and pick and choose when to get on there and I want to make sure that the community is devastated and hurting about somebody. Well, the community should be devastated and hurting about all these children that done lost their life, and especially Horace that allowed you to even maybe get in position. Because if that wouldn't have happened up there, Durkin's good appointed ass would still be in office. You wouldn't be the mayor. You wouldn't have a chance. So it don't matter about your Greens and your Garfield, you will be still at city council. So take this time and opportunity to do what's right, to revamp, restore, reheal our community that y'all say you want great again. No, let's make it great for the first time because the old ways haven't been opening up new experiences for us anyway.
Yeah, I dig that. I guess they got this video of the incident or the situation.
Away
It says
They
he's
had to
gone.
beg to go in as police and medics to offer aid to somebody who was shot.
I don't like that
turned
part.
out in the end to be your child.
I don't like that.
Right.
Because that's a lie. That was 28 minutes after Lorenzo had already been transported by some good Samaritans.
Really?
Okay, so he needed medical attention when the young man went up there and told them to come down. So don't wait 28 minutes. Like he said, Hannity said, prime example, death, shot, and breathing, certain things by the minute matters, by the second. So that's what he needed. And especially the way he was born. He was born with medical conditions. I had him at 4 months. So he was already born with albuterol and oxygen tank. So his breath, so what's the cold to us is pneumonia to him. So he needed medical response immediately. And they took it, you know, this that wasn't the time. As a mother, you know, when I hear stuff, all it does is, you know, I'm okay with it, but it pisses me off again. Because now but the paramedics wasn't able to do their job. They knew fucking well they shouldn't even sit on the corner. What did they get paid to do? That was fraud. Because you knew you couldn't even go in because the fucking police department wasn't even there. If they couldn't go in, you couldn't go in. So it was a chain of, not supposed to be command, but it was a chain of fuck up. Because once the police said that they couldn't go in, no, police wasn't there for you to be able to get the okay to go in. And then you wasn't there because you had already left your precinct 30 days prior. So, you know, as far as I'm concerned, they wanted something to happen, not just allowed it. You know, they had a video. Did you guys read that one with Omari? Omari put on something on Converge Media where he interviewed the chief of fire department and all the other people. Well, it looked like everything that happened in that interview is what happened down there on June of 2020. I don't have time to play games. I want answers about my son. I want accountability. And when they ask me what is accountability, I need something that I can remember my son for the rest of my life. Permanent. Don't just try to erase what happened to my baby. Bad enough I got to deal with him not never being here. Bad enough I got to deal with my daughter can't even look at a picture. What about how it affects my kids? What about the days we are all here together and it feels like something's missing? But everybody else get to go live their happily life. But I'm picking up the city of Seattle's pieces. And it's not okay. And then they walk around and act like I'm the problem. I'm not the fucking problem. I'm asking for answers. So I don't give a fuck who it sit well with and who it don't sit well with. I feel like at this point, if they ain't really showing real motherfucking outcomes about reducing, I don't want to hear about the 12, the Ethiopians and the Asians and the little white kids that ain't in active gun there. I'm talking about the active motherfucking shooters. Until I start seeing them being reduced and changing behaviors and not hold and talking about hood and this, that, and this, that, all the motherfucking organizations can get shut down fucking with me. Because you ain't doing nothing. When we supposed to be targeting the kids that already been impacted. Yeah, prevention is a beautiful thing. We got to stay on top of that too. That's prevention is better than intervention, but intervention is serious and it's happening right now. And it needs, what are we doing? What are we doing? Nothing. We're going up to Jackson, giving them motherfucking gift cards and going up to the South End, Rainier Beach. Man, that shit's getting fake. The shit's still happening. No, get your ass up at these clubs. When
gift cards. Hold up. What? Gift cards.
Yeah.
What?
You know, the turkey drives, the gift card, that fake ass shit.
Okay.
That's beautiful, but we talking about where the shootings is at. Let's make it beautiful when we know that our community we went a whole 30 days and nobody has had shot fires and gun violence.
Right.
They say everybody's tired of people asking people to tell their story.
Whatever happened to sitting down and mediating between different groups?
Well, I ain't seen it. Or they doing it without me. And how you doing it without me? And my son is the heart of CHOP. So that's where the problem, because they don't want the truth. You know, when I'm seeing people running for all these different states and senators and all this, but they ain't even holding their own people accountable. I mean, I ain't got nothing against you, but you don't get my vote. Because you ain't being honest and you ain't holding yourself as well as your people's accountable. So why do I want more infected shit in our community? No. All they doing is changing chairs and positions, but they got the same fucked up ways, infected behavior, bad ways. You know, this isn't personal. This is, if they call it supposed to be business, then why isn't it not? If we supposed to be here helping our community heal and change, why is it so much bullshit? How are we having these type of meetings? That means there's some other shit going on that hasn't been addressed. So, you know, I ain't got the problem. I'm just telling you, this been placed. I didn't campaign for this. This shit was landed in my lap. I didn't campaign for the position. It was brought to me. You know, I've been just put in here, you know. So when I don't hear still to this day from a mayor or a chief and all of them people that's doing advocacy, then there's a problem, you know. And then they're going to send it, have me go talk to a young lady that's infected, that's Andre Taylor's sister, which have any zero against. However, okay, I don't want to be playing the same game that Mr. Taylor just, how do I know? So I just got to be careful with attachments. I don't got time to play the game no more with Seattle. I want answers about my son, my nephew, and all the other kids that lost their lives in our community, Seattle area. You know, and we're not going to just pick on the one that worked, you know, or he, you know, everybody is highlighted. All these kids should be honored, all their families, all their mothers. So I'm confused on what Seattle got going. You know, we building chess parks and all of this shit. Well, all that money should have been into, because some of these kids need to be in jail. I ain't about to sugarcoat it. You letting them, they shooting people and then getting released? No. Then that means whoever released them, the judge and the officer, whoever released them should be held accountable then. Because I ain't going to play with them. I'm not trying to lose no more children. I'm pretty sure other mothers in the same situation are not trying to lose their fucking kids behind a careless, senseless community. Greed. Because this isn't about grants. This is about lives. What's important, the money or the people? And I need answers. What's important? We keep asking for resources. Well, for who? Because everybody dying. So what the fuck are we getting all these resources and this campaigning about? Shit. So yeah, tell me, you know. And when I see, just like I seen over here, I seen 1,000 CD people but guess what? We are CD and South End. We are I-5, King County. We are Berrien. This is all of us. We all been all over. So when I start seeing the South End just stick strictly out in the South End and not merging over to the CD, and then the CD ain't going to the South End, well, then that means there's a conflict there. That needs to get resolved. When I'm seeing motherfucking kids that go and get the motherfucking, what's this called? A motherfucking plaque, but turn around and fo holly, I'm confused. It's not a game to me. So now in a minute, I'm going to take it to the motherfucking people that they're getting the funding from. Well, what's up with this? Because this is who you want my kids to come behind and be an example of? Get the fuck up out of here. So hold your people accountable or I will. About my son.
Yeah, they need somebody that's not going to play with them, you know. That's crazy. Because I be inside a box just trying to keep a roof over my head. And I wouldn't guess that they put any money into the violence and, what's going on in the community. But to hear that they've had, then that's like alarming, because I would think that there's nothing being done or no money being issued out for, to advocate, these type of situations and, get the kids and just to get through to them and let them know how big the world is and that you don't have to resort to criminal behavior in order to survive out here. There's so many opportunities. You got gamers and you know, I mean, you could just do damn near anything you want to do nowadays, you know, hell of a lot more than I thought I could do as a kid, you know. So
A lot of opportunity,
yeah,
plenty.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
But when when that ain't where we've been programmed or designed, and we only got this little, tunnel vision of we can't be nothing more than what the people are saying. I'm more than whatever the community thought about me. I don't give a damn what I did at Garfield or back on Cherry or none of that. I'm 45 years old. I'm a mother. I'm a pillar of the community. I'm being positive. So I know my rights from wrongs. I'm not about to go hang with the same people thinking that I'm about to get different results. I'm not about to be running around putting nobody down. Only thing I am going to do is do what I can to help make my people positive, healthy. And you know what I'm saying? Other than that, it's cool because I don't mind being, like I said, I used to be real intimidated going inside these meetings like, oh, they don't like me. Well, now I walk in them because the Lord sent me. So it don't matter who likes me or who don't, right? So, you gonna feel uneasy now when I walk through the room. I'm the black sheep, the one that they don't want to see me coming. Because I ain't trying to hear that your son was just on the news shooting, but you out the meeting trying to tell me how to heal. Girl, go on. You hear me? Go on ahead. And I ain't trying to hear about, oh, my you at the meeting, but your nephew or you're in the, man, they better go ahead, okay? They better go ahead. Well, like I told them, what is accountability for me? Change behavior. So change your behavior. Change the way your students or your colleagues do their shit. Change behavior. And then I could say, I'm good, but I do want answers. I want accountability about my son. So until then, I'm just gonna be here for the fight, and I'm pretty sure other mothers they're gonna get tired of it, and then they'll come on board, and then eventually, like I said, voting. I've never been in politics, but I am now. I'm making sure that who's in our office, if I have anything to do with it, that they are healthy, that they are doing something. They're not just coming getting our votes and calling us 60 days before the election because you want to be, you want us to, what's they call, vote for you, but you don't get my endorsements, because you ain't about shit. So that's just how that go. I ain't got time for it. So Seattle, until they start being healthy, not again healthy, then I just think that we're in shit creek. We're in shit trouble. So I hope that money made it. Was worth it. You sold your soul. You sold your people. You sold your children, the before and the afters. You sold them for a little bit of money instead of being real and honest and knowing that if you're doing right, the Lord's gonna provide. You're gonna be okay. But we can't be running around here killing our people and then talking about healing them. How does it don't? It just does not work. And when I see them,
it's got to stop. Yeah,
they do. And when I see people that's in higher positions don't want to hold their friends accountable because if they friends, then you might not be healthy for this position too. Because everybody knows that Seattle police dropped the fucking ball. Period.
Have you heard of Neely Fuller Jr.?
Who was that?
Def Chef turned me on to this brother. And then, we're gonna
name?
His name is Neely Fuller
Neely Fuller Jr.
N-E-I?
No, Neely Fuller Jr. Fuller. And but check it out. I'm gonna hold up. Let me get this up here. I'm gonna just show y'all a little short. Well, Def Chef hit me to this guy, man. This was very interesting. I think all Black kids should see this between the age of whatever age. They should see it every year.
Grown men need to see it.
Grown ass men. Everybody needs to see this right here, and this needs to be talked about a lot more. But let me just play it, and then we'll talk about it.
If you do not understand white supremacy, which is racism, what it is and how it works, everything else that you understand will only confuse you. Only confuse you. Only confuse you.
I know you. I know your father, your grandfather. I had them in chains. You can get in each other's face. You can run around with your little 9mm killing each other. Don't you get in my face at all. I'll let you talk and act. Sometimes let you talk and act tough to me. But remember, I'm letting you do this. Because I don't have to let you do anything, including breathing. And there's nothing can stop me. And you don't know anybody who's big enough to do it. So quit acting. And that's what I say in the books that I've written. We need to stop being actors. We're always talking about keeping it real. That's black people in the Northwestern Hemisphere. But we're the most unrealistic people on the planet. Quietly looked upon as a bunch of jokes. But people talk nice to us because they don't want to be bothered with us. They'll talk nice, but at the same time in their thoughts, they couldn't think anything else except these people are just about completely worthless as any creatures can possibly be. And how do I say that? I'm talking about this is the voice of the white supremacists now. Because I have made them that way. The only way they get to be worth anything is when I make them worth something. I tell them what they're worth. They don't know. They don't even know what to do with themselves when they get up in the morning, except what I tell them. Go here, go there. That's the only time they make sense. Other than that, they don't know anything. And proof of it is I can say, hey, I'm going to make some hats out of hubcaps. I got surplus hubcaps in my warehouse on some cars that I haven't even manufactured yet. And I don't know what to do with those surplus hubcaps. I don't want to throw them away. I got millions of them. But I got a bunch of black people out there who are just looking for something to do. They don't know what to do. They just look at this great big universe, a great big world. Look up and down the streets. They don't know what to do or where to go at any given moment. So I always, as usual, find something for them to do. So the next thing I'll do is the little money I've allowed them to have, I'm going to take these hubcaps that I ordinarily would put on some cars, and I'm going to say that they are no longer hubcaps, that they are hats. And I'll have all these millions of black people walking around with these hubcaps on their heads. And give it a fancy name like Zapsters. You know. And people will be asking, what's a Zapster? Hey, man, that's the new hats, man. I mean, you square. You don't know what's up. You don't know. You haven't bought you a Zapster yet? $800 a piece, man. I got two of them. My buddy got them at a distance.
That's how this shit be.
He works over there where they got the stuff stored. And some white supremacists, about 23 years old, right out of college, thought up the idea. We'll sell them to the black people. We don't have to throw them away. Call them Zapsters. What's a Zapster? That's a hat that black people wear. That's their identifying thing. They always need something to identify themselves with, as if their skin color doesn't identify them enough. They always got to have something artificial, something that I made up. Or if they make it up, I'll be the one who will control it and I'll sell it to them for the little money that I allow them to have. and have them out here killing each other and have them. And a name like Zapster would be appropriate too, because they'd be zapping other black people trying to get them. Put 5 shots in somebody and grab that Zapster. Keep it in the closet for about a week and then come out wearing it. A hubcap. That's the way millions of us think, rather than say, wait a minute. I'm not doing nothing of the kind. I'm not going out and buying none of that stuff. I'm not going to even wear it if they give it to me. I'm going to start doing some thinking for the first time in my existence on my own.
The Zapsters.
Right. I see that.
Hey,
now
man,
look,
listen.
Here's the literal story of Zapsters. Spinners. Spinners is the literal story of Zapsters.
Mm-hmm.
Why the fuck you need rims that keep spinning when your car stop? Most of these cars the cars and the rims are comparable in price. Right? And you know what? I only seen a couple people who weren't black ever with spinners. Now that company, where they at now? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Remember that nigga Latrell Sprewell had some shoes that you ran in them and jumped, and they had little thing on it, little cylinder would spin. I wonder how much some of them shoes are. What happened to that company? That spinner shoe company. But nigga,
Well,
they
don't
came
gotta
out with that
necessarily be
shit.
Zapter. It's Gucci. It's Louis. It's all the shit that we keep killing ourselves about. Because like I told them the other day, that's what you see. We got us moms, and he's gonna go big. You know why? Because it's me now. I ain't got to go buy a $1,000 t-shirt to prove to Gucci that I got some money, and then at the end of the day, I know motherfucker well.
Go ahead and promote that joint. Promote that shirt. Promote that shirt. Let everybody know what it's about.
Yes, this is We Got Us Moms, and so on the back it got no bullying, no gun violence. We want to prohibit that, right? We want to stop, because it starts off bullying. That joking, that's why I don't play fight and all of that. Because why would your friend or your family want to play fight? That means that they really sizing you up to play a game.
Yeah, they don't really like you.
They don't respect you. Right. And so I learned that, We Got Us Moms. And then this is the lifeline. This is the connection. We're restoring families. It ain't just about a mother. This is about the mother, the father, the sister, the uncle, the grandma, everybody. Because when we was brought up, it was our family. We was with our family. I knew my grandma. I knew my cousins. We were held. We may have gotten to a fight, but we was back hugging the next hour on our way running to the park. Nowadays, families that shoot each other, kill each other for opposite. I'm a Crip, I'm a G, I'm a this. Well, what does that mean? What does it mean to you, right? When they talk about hoods, well, I hope these ain't the same hoods that's owned by Section 8 or Seattle Housing or all these authorities. If you ain't bought and own it, let's get out of that bracket, because that's a whole nother conversation we can discuss too. But I was influenced and infected at a time, because when I left home and went to the community center and they were acting funny there because they picking and choosing who they want to make it through the basketball or whatever, I went to the streets. So a home away from home, away from home. And guess what? Everybody that was out there on them cherries and all them different places was infected, but I thought that they were the big homie, the OGs. I thought they were, the mother that I didn't have, or the big aunt or sister that I didn't have. Well, come to find out, I was a sucker. I was their guinea pig, not knowing. I'm holding the dope. I'm doing all of that, even though it was my own. But guess what? If they cared about me, they were supposed to tell me, little girl, take your ass home. You're too young to be out here.
Right.
So You know, I'm just saying that that's what all that is. We look for. We can't wait to show the Gucci and all this. Don't nobody got to know what I got and what I'm doing. It ain't their business. Why am I doing? Are you doing it for the likes, or are you doing it for you? You know, when people
all that's just prolonging you of getting your own, you know, getting established. It just kind of keeps you out there. Now, if you already established and you doing that, that's one thing. But a lot of people, you know, they spend half their money on an outfit. You know, like that's all you got to your name, but you got to be dressing like that, and that's backwards. You know, you're trying to hide something. You know, you're ashamed about your finances, and instead of trying to fix it, you'd rather just put cologne on shit and make it seem like it don't stink, bro. But you know, your life is fucked up. You know, you don't need those Gucci belts and wallets and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're not at least a homeowner, you shouldn't be wearing that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's at the very bare minimum. You know, so
that's how I look at it. Like I'm going to get my teeth fixed. You know, I'm stressed out, but I'm putting my time into that, energy into that, not comparing and getting likes. And like I said, I shared a couple of things on Facebook. Facebook's a prime example of it allows you to see who's in your corner and it allows you to see who's not. And not just because people don't always got to show up and that proves that they support you. I'm just saying how I see how when it's something real, it gets overlooked. But as soon as we say somebody snitched or somebody got this or did that, I mean, you get over 2.k views. You get 5 this, 72 this. But when it's about real, it gets overlooked, and we're scared to be a voice. So I just feel like I hope that our community can get in a space, because I got to go get my kids, you guys. I hope our community can get into a space where we learn to, I want to be able to forgive, right? And I want to learn to restore and understand that even with Rans, but no, we ain't in the same home, but we are not at war, right? And that's what a lot of families, you know, people like to keep so much chaos going on instead of really fix it. Sometimes a plain apology can fix a whole bunch of shit. What's wrong with that? When do we highlight and say, man, I was wrong, and let's move forward? But no, you rather, I didn't do it. It wasn't me. It was what's name, point the finger. No, it's all of us. We have all at one point have failed, not just our kids, we failed ourselves. We ain't been making always the right choices. We had to get here. And we got here from what we fell in or bumping our head, and we got to that rock bottom where enough was enough. So that's what I'm asking Seattle. When is enough gonna be enough? Right. When is enough kids dying gonna be enough?
Right. The damage to our community, you know, it's abnormal. You know, it seemingly should be simple, you know, like we're outnumbered. We're at the bottom of the totem pole as far as economics go. So why aren't we trying to help each other? Why are we looking at each other like an opposition instead of trying to help each other, you know? And for me, it was just a lack of education of who I was as a Black person. You know, my genealogy, you know, all of that. It was a lack of knowledge. You know, I didn't know how special Black people are. You don't know the powers that you possess. And if you don't know that, then you're not going to value that. Right. And that's the same guy sitting across from you shooting.
It's that programming we were.
He don't know either.
Mm-hmm.
You know
how much of a greatness, because he ain't been told you're amazing,
man. We're
and
kings.
You can be somebody, and I'm proud of you.
You know, we walk through the sun. You know, we're connected. You know.
You know what? I was going to piggyback on something you had said earlier about stigma. When I learned from just listening, African American young men are not designed. They're not taught that they're gonna see after 21.
No,
You know, and
I
that
never
shit
dreamed of being
cycle
this
has to
age.
be stripping. We have to break that because, and then once they get 21, then they're confused on what I'm supposed to be doing. I wasn't even supposed to
Right.
make it.
Right, exactly. I
So
swear,
now,
I was just like that.
you know what I'm saying? So they have to design them that, no, you are going to be whatever it is. If you want to be the president, the way things have happened, you can be that.
Yeah.
If you want to be the judge, if you just want to be a journalist, whatever it is, we can be anything we want to be. But I'm learning but like I said, I had to go back when I had to tear down when all this happened, all my walls got torn down. So I had to identify, what am I doing? Because what part did I play? Right? So no, I didn't kill my son. No, I had nothing to do with it. But I know that growing up on Cherry and growing up in these these places where the love wasn't real, that once that got down there, I would have been influenced too. Come on down here, knowing harm was down there. Not knowing, we didn't know. We thinking it's summer of love and supposed to be Black Lives Matter, but it wasn't that. And why was we okay with that? It shouldn't have not being funny, but not now one of us should have been down there.
Right.
But we so, want to do what everybody else is doing. I get the protest and I get that what happened to George Floyd, right? What's his name? Yeah, I guess that's his name. However,
Breonna Taylor,
all of them, and they all supposed to be
used
highlighted.
everything they could.
But I see that they have, as a community, came together. Their whole community, you seen thousands of people in that goddamn streets. And not for bullshit. They wanted answers. We didn't see that here, and all I get to do is look at pictures and memories of my son. So my fight is different. And if people feel like, oh, I'm not rude. if you're not gonna be honest and be real, I don't want to play with it. Just leave me the fuck alone, because you could continue doing what you ain't been doing, and that's a whole bunch of nothing.
Now that's the right mentality, though. That's the perfect mentality.
Neely Fuller Jr., he speaks on that too. We got a video. Everything that we talked about tonight, there's a video that we could touch on outside of this. But now this is good because a bunch of stuff is being said tonight. It should have been openly said.
Right.
This is a moment we've needed for quite some time.
Yeah, well, I'm just thankful, because it's never too late. And I know that, in order to fight, it has to be a continuance. However, let's don't drop the ball now. This is something it's real, it's important, but this is not just my son. This is a lot of people that lost their lives. And so this is where the city of Seattle and our SPD and everybody that is a part of it, this is where they be held accountable, make different decisions, make better choices, but we can't go on, we can't just move forward until we get accountability. So this can be a start, but like I said, what we talking about here, from every goddamn leader should have heard it and see it, or should have even been chimed in.
Well, it's documented, so they can go back whenever. You know what I'm saying? Check it out. Check out the stream.
Well, make sure that I got it.
We're gonna be streaming all the time, on different topics, different things. You're welcome to, hit me up if you got a topic you want to touch or whatever. I'm always extend the platform. Of course, we growing. We trying to grow this thing. What they say, build the plane while you fly it. At the same time. So.
Well, I most definitely got other people. Sorry, I got other people and mothers that, they want their voice.
Yeah, we need to have these conversations about the violence and about the solutions. We need those conversations, things that we can do.
Yeah, because what all we trying to do is make a difference.
Yeah, and we know that some of the fathers ain't here no more. So if one father could at least, sponsor one kid on just a weekend activity, it could be flag football. You get your two sons plus couple other dads bring their sons, and the kids just go to a park and just throw a football around, man. It eases tension. You know, one thing about growing up, I never really had static with any of my dad's friends' sons. You know what I'm saying? That was my dad. That's my dad's friend. That's his son. We was always cool. You know, like it needs to be that. We need to not just say it or not just hit the like button on your Facebook, but meet up at a park. It's 5, 6 boys or girls or whatever, and do something. You know, play tag. You know how we used to play way back. Danish rounders, and I mean, we played Red Rover, and I mean, we did so much stuff that these kids don't do. You know,
no nothing about.
Right. And then it's so much they can get into now. It's easy to keep the younger ones that's, you know, not out of school. It's easy to kind of keep them out of the streets, you know, and just some different solutions. I know everybody can't pick their kid up from school, but I went to Leshai and we stayed on, let me see, at Leshai, we was on 21st. Yeah, I think we was on 21st. You know, that's about a mile and a half or something. You know what I'm saying? And just that little bit of time, a kid could get in a lot of trouble, man. Just from that 30 minutes or that hour, even coming from Washington Middle School home, you know, a kid can get in a lot, you know. And I will wonder why, you know, some parents, you know, they just pick their kid up. It's like, okay, you know, like you get into this house, we got to take charge of our families again. You know, it's not all about what the kid wants to do or what the kid, you know.
We got to do what's best.
Yes.
For the kid and our household.
Exactly. So once that starts to happen, you know, I could see a dramatic change in the way. And this is what we feed them. It's programming. Like nobody's sitting them down, letting them watch the Neely Fuller so they can see how stupid you really look. Yeah, aiming a gun at a black person.
You
or
put
buying that Gucci shit, you know?
You put them visuals to what he's saying. Yeah. And then you see your favorite rapper or your favorite ignorant nigga. You see him personified up in there, and it makes you think.
Oh no, it do. But that's what it's about. It's supposed to. Yeah. You know, we thought raising our kid was providing and giving them the cell phone or the TV, but we forgot what was on there. Right. And so if all that corrupt and chaos is on there, that's all that they go. And then when they turn around,
it's just a gateway.
Right. And then we want to turn around and be with our big brothers and big sisters and our uncles and whatever, probably even our mamas used to be, you know. However, all those was how we learned, but they weren't always what was right for us. But we didn't know it till now. And now that we have an opportunity,
it takes research. It takes research. It takes research.
But
just like let's say the LA gang thing. I always bring this up, you know, because I like to say that Seattle as a city, what are we, like 25, 30 years behind them as far as like gang politics and stuff. And we see where their city has gone. We see what's going on. I had my thing. Let me see. Okay, here we go. There we go. Accountability. Okay, so we see what has happened, and one of the guys didn't die down there, but basically all these guys, you know, in the California, LA area, you know what I'm saying, and you know, it's just amazing, you know, about the accountability, you know, that's not being taken.
Right.
You know, by our own community. This is what we're doing. You know, we're 25 years behind LA, and because they admit that the gang started off as something like protect from the police, and then it's like the Crips, the Bloods made a gang because the Crips was overbearing on them. And you see that the project over 60 years or whatever didn't work at all, you know. So because we're not in LA, and we can't clean up LA unless we can't clean up our own backyard.
Right.
So what are we gonna do? Are we gonna continue this same cycle for 25, 30 more years and then say, okay, it's
Enough
about
is
time,
enough.
you know, or no, let's just go 100 years. Why don't we just round it off at an even 100 years?
There's
right?
not going to be nobody living.
This is ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
There's not going to be nobody living. And I will look at one of these people up here. The only one I really know of for sure, I've seen all the rest of them, is Nip, right?
Right.
Love
right.
Nip, liked his work. But Nip was still glorifying Crip.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, the attachment, okay? Like, I don't got nothing against Snoop, but Snoop, I don't fuck with you. You're glorifying gang and bullshit.
They're keeping it alive. They're keeping that shit alive.
Right, is looking at your behavior. You know, you made it to the big leagues. You should be really being an example. Not every time. Now, I smoke a little. It happens. You know, just get stressed out. I understand. Eat an edible. I understand. But when we start going on TV, glorifying it, and every time you turn around, or is, you know, stop. Just stop it. Because that's not what we're about. They're looking up to you. And now everybody want to make sure that they the Crip and they doing, or they the pirate, the toughest. What is that shit? It has not got us nowhere, you know? So I'm to a place where, you know, be careful with your background. Your background music is so important. You know, we can't have, oh, Nipsey's a good role model, which he was, but he's glorifying gang. So it's either you're going to have to balance it out. You know, not to say he wasn't a great person, but his behavior is what got him his attachments.
Yeah, you're right. And I heard in some of his lyrics, you know, he was like, you know, he hate gang banging and get you off date. You know, he had a few bars like he'll stick in there, you know, but like you said, those attachments, and it's real. And you got people and that's a sickness. Is self-hate. I haven't seen no gangs that basically that's all they do. Well, the black gangs, that's all they do is basically pulverize other blacks, from what I could see, you know, predominantly, especially up in Washington. Like we said, I can't speak on LA, you know, they got their thing going on with Mexicans and whatever, you know, but from the gangs that I've seen in Seattle, Washington, they prey on other black people.
Yeah.
Only, you know. So I don't see how that's productive, you know, but we can't beat a dead horse right now. Appreciate you for coming through though. You know, say the closing remarks, and we're gonna do another one of these on another occasion.
All right. Well, thanks for having me. And if I was able to help anyone, you know, I hope that we tune in to ourselves, you know, and our family and what matters. Let's stop being a follower. Let's start loving ourselves. And when we're talking about healing, let's heal your heart so you can help heal others with a healthy hand.
Chef.
Hey, thanks for coming on. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we want to bring you on again because there's still a lot to talk about, but we got out what we needed to for today.
Yes. This Dr. Hood, you know, I appreciate the opportunity, you know what I'm saying? Trying to do my part. Like I said, I'm just getting started, just trying to get up on here. I like to do more things, have more panelists coming. You know, the panel should be full. When we're talking about serious situations, that's when people should take a little bit of time out of their schedule and come forward, and, you know, so we can talk about it, because it's not enough communication. I think people have given Facebook and social media a little bit too much credit, and they, you know, that's good enough. You know, you reach out, call your people, your loved ones. You know, don't rely on social media to tell people happy birthday and, you know, all of this stuff, because it's really building a disconnect, you know. And then the education and the programming, you know, if we've been programmed, then we gotta decompress, you know, we gotta reprogram, you know. It's simple science, you know. Like I said, I haven't seen no cartoon that, you know, if you heard a black dude or you talk about a black dude, everybody laughed at you like you were weird, you know, like that. It should be weird, because it is weird, you know. You look like a fool, you know. And I used to think it was cool, you know. That was a thing to do, to be. It was self-hate, and I didn't realize it until I really dug deep and, you know, went through some situations and educated myself a little bit, you know. And then it just opened up, like, wait a minute, even the guy that's my enemy, the guy that, you know, we're all being preyed upon by the rest of the world. So it just didn't make sense to me in numbers. You know, we're eventually going to need each other, and we're hurting each other. You know, that doesn't make any sense. The first people that's going to be having our back, those are the first people that we're looking to pick off. You know, so like I said, I could talk all day though. You know, appreciate y'all. We'll get up on the next one.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Great show.
Peace.
All right.
Peace.
Bye.
Peace.